The first thing Lieutenant Mara Ellian noticed upon stepping into the Galactic Embassy was how quiet it became. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was the heavy, suffocating kind, as though every alien diplomat and officer had paused mid-breath. Hundreds of pupils, lenses, and sensory nodes swiveled toward her in perfect unison. Mara forced her shoulders back. She'd trained for years to be here. She wasn't about to crumble on day one. A pair of their delegates, a reptilian species whose scales shimmered like obsidian dust, whispered to each other. Their frilled necks twitched in irritation. "Another human," one hissed. "Poor thing," the other murmured. "No one will bond with her." Mara heard. Humans always heard. Their hearing was unusually keen compared to most species in the Accord, though this fact had yet to earn them any respect. Bonding Day was the ultimate diplomatic ceremony, a ritual where two individuals from different species formed a neural, emotional, and chemical partnership designed to strengthen interplanetary cooperation. It required vulnerability and absolute trust. And no alien ever chose a human. Humans, with their volatile emotions and unpredictable instincts, were dismissed as reckless primitives. Their brains, though adaptable, were notoriously difficult to synchronize with alien neurologies. Every attempt at cross-species bonding with a human had ended in disorientation, emotional overload, or in one unfortunate case, a week of uncontrollable laughter. Yet Mara needed a bond. Without it, she would never be approved for deep space diplomatic assignments. Her dream, to serve on the Accord's frontier missions, depended entirely on today. She moved toward the hollow platform where unbonded delegates waited. 20 aliens stood in arranged semicircles, glowing under the ceremonial lights. None looked at her, not even for a moment. A knot tightened in her gut. The presiding coordinator, a tall, iridescent Mharan whose body rippled like liquid chrome, addressed the group. "Delegates, you may now step forward and choose those you wish to initiate bonding with." Mara steadied her breathing. She watched a Selari scholar choose a Turn warrior. A Mharan rippled toward a Kithari empath. One by one, pairs formed, leaving her standing alone in the widening emptiness of the platform. Some aliens didn't even bother pretending to consider her. They simply turned their backs. After 15 minutes, only one delegate remained unpaired. He wasn't alien. He was human. He stood near the back, hands clasped behind him, posture as rigid as a soldier's but eyes bright with curiosity. His uniform bore the insignia of the Human Diplomatic Corps, though worn and a bit scratched, signs of field missions, not ceremony. He looked at her, not past her, not through her. Then he stepped forward. Gasps rippled across the chamber. "I would like to initiate bonding," he said, his voice deep and steady, "with Lieutenant Mara Ellian." For a moment the world tilted. Mara blinked, sure she'd misheard. The coordinator's metallic head twisted toward him. "Human bonding with human defeats the purpose of cross-species diplomacy." He nodded. "Agreed. But I'm not bonding as a human." The murmurs returned, louder, confused, electrified. He lifted the cuff of his sleeve, revealing embedding ports along his arm, glowing faintly blue. "I'm hybrid. My nervous system has been partially integrated with Neru biocybernetics from my time in their exchange program. Physiologically, I am compatible with multiple species, including my own." Another wave of astonished murmuring. Neru integration was rare and extremely dangerous. Few survived it. He took another step toward her. "My name is Commander Laron Vale." Mara swallowed hard. "Why me?" "Because," he said simply, "you walked in determined, despite knowing every alien here would reject you. That takes courage." More than most in this room. Her cheeks warmed. The coordinator's body shimmered disapprovingly. This is highly irregular. Laron tilted his head. But not prohibited. The coordinator paused, calculating, and then reluctantly swept an arm toward the bonding dais. Proceed. Mara stepped forward and joined Laron on the platform. She could feel every alien eye in the chamber boring into them. You don't have to do this, she whispered. If I didn't want to, he replied, I wouldn't be here. The bonding ritual chamber resembled a starlit dome. Thousands of soft lights glittered above, designed to soothe neural activity during synchronization. Mara sat on one side of a low platform, Laron on the other. Between them lay a crystalline interface. The coordinator stood nearby, arms folded. Place your right hands onto the crystal. Your minds will link at 15% strength. If either of you experiences distress, withdraw immediately. Mara inhaled sharply. This was it. Her palm touched the cool surface. Laron's hand aligned with hers, separated only by the crystal. The interface flared. A soft hum filled her skull. First it felt like static, warm and distant. Then like the rustle of leaves. Then a voice. Nervous. Laron's thoughts brushed against hers. Gentle, like fingertips trailing through water. He startled. You can already hear me. We're both human enough for the link to find shortcuts. He wasn't pushing into her mind. He was merely offering presence. An invitation rather than an intrusion. Mara exhaled and allowed her thoughts to drift closer. Suddenly she felt him. Not his memories, not his secrets, just the essence of him. Steady. Grounded. A quiet determination beneath layers of calm. And beneath that, something she didn't expect. Loneliness. Deep, patient loneliness. You feel that? He asked, startled. I didn't mean to. He pulled back. Sorry. Don't be. It's all part of bonding. Mara wasn't used to anyone letting her close. Not even humans, who often found her too intense, too perceptive. But Laron didn't flinch. If anything, her presence seemed to steady him further. The crystal glowed brighter. Neural resonance at 18%, the coordinator announced. Exceeding threshold. Aliens gasped from the observation deck. Laron smiled slightly. Looks like we're good at this. Mara returned the smile. Better than anyone expected. The link deepened. Not overwhelming, not chaotic. It felt natural, like two rivers merging at their edges, each retaining their identity while flowing in parallel harmony. Resonance at 25%. The coordinator's voice held disbelief. Bonding stable. Mara's heart pounded with triumph. For the first time in Accord history, two humans, one hybrid, one pure, had successfully performed a cross-compatibility bond. Hours later, Mara and Laron stood outside the chamber as delegates whispered furiously around them. Shock turned to fascination. Suddenly, aliens who had ignored her earlier stared with wide, appraising eyes. A Terran warrior approached, bowing respectfully. Lieutenant Elyon, if you ever seek a secondary bond, the Tituan would consider an application. Mara almost laughed. A day ago, they wouldn't have let her clean their boots. After the crowds dispersed, she turned to Laron. You changed everything today. He shook his head. No, we did. So what happens now? She asked. Well, he said with a modest grin, bonded partners are usually assigned together. Frontier missions, diplomatic travel, exploration. Her chest fluttered. That was my dream. And mine, he admitted softly. They stood beneath the embassy's towering crystalline arch as starships crisscrossed the sky above. For what it's worth, Laron said, I didn't step forward out of pity. I stepped forward because I saw someone who deserved a chance, and because I felt something familiar. Like your determination mirrored something in me. Mara's voice softened. I'm glad you did. He extended a hand. Not for ceremony, not for ritual. Just for her. She took it. Their bond, still humming faintly between their minds, pulsed with quiet promise. Together they walked toward the docking platforms, toward whatever distant stars awaited them. Two humans who had just rewritten the rules of the galaxy. And for the first time in her life, Mara Ellian didn't feel alone. She felt chosen,